Yesterday we were discussing about component of logistic system. So what are the requirement for logistic system is the delivery of the medicine from factory to distributor, consumer, wholesaler, retailer. So components, first of all, transportation, inbound and outbound. Inbound transportation means we need a forklifter in our warehouse where we can pick the big packing and put it on racks. We need a transportation by transporting the raw material from the warehouse to the production department. We need lot of packaging material which has been transported in the premises of your own factory. Factory, it's a big size, big area covered, and for that we need a transportation. So inbound transportation is necessary, and then outbound transportation means you are moving goods from factory to distributor, wholesaler, and retailer. So this is a basic requirement of transportation. In this transportation, we always select those distributor who has got a fleet of transportations, because he has to deliver the goods on each and every area of that locality where he has been organizing his distribution network. And for that purpose, he must have a fleet, and he must have an employees also to carry the goods and distribute among the different retailers. So for that purpose, he has to employ a complete team. And then after that, not only employ the people in company for the transportation, drivers, loaders, deloaders, and a person who can understand how to make the cash memo by giving a product or invoices, how to create invoices, or how to transfer these invoices to the head office to supply the food. So transportation is a basic requirement of logistic system. Then in logistic system, we need to control the inventory. Means how much in quantity we have the raw material, how much we have the quantity in finished goods, how we meet the demand and supply through our inventories, how to advise to our retailer, distributor, and wholesaler to maintain their inventories. Because if any discrepancy you will find in the control of inventory right from your storehouse to the retailer, both have to maintain their inventory, means they have to maintain the stock. And stock maintenance is necessary because there is a demand from the market. And if there is a demand from the market, then you must have a supply in your hand, and that is an inventory. So you have to control the inventory. Controlling is a very vast word for explanation. Means you must keep eye on your demand from the market, and how much raw material do you have in your store, how much finished goods do you have in your store, where to supply, when to supply, how to supply. These all things are involved in inventory control. Order processing, as the level of the inventory After the supply to the market through the distributor, wholesaler, retailer, your inventory level will come down, reduce. So how to start giving raw material order to the supplier sitting out of the country? What is the process of ordering? Means order processing involve manufacturer will give order to the supplier which is sitting abroad, Italy, USA, India, or somewhere else. And how to give the order in a complete bulk or in portion, or you have make a plan on the paper that you will get 25% first order, then 25% second order, and 50% third order. In that way, 100% order you will receive in your warehouse. So order processing is very important. Documentation of order is very important. Follow-up is very important. Then we have to consider logistics system, warehousing and storage. What do you understand by warehousing and storage? Warehousing means where you keep your finished goods and raw material. A warehouse of raw material is separate and finished good is separate. And we call it warehousing and storage. It should be with hygienic condition. We must organize shelves. We must have transportation to take from the warehouse or storage to the finished goods, or production. So warehousing, maintenance warehousing, how many labor do we require in the warehouse and storage? Lightning, cleaning, to keep a temperature if there is a cold storage like vaccines. If you are a supplier of a vaccine or manufacturer of vaccine, for example, Amson's pharmaceutical company in Kavita industrial zone in Rawalpindi, they have got a cold storage. Means minus 25 degrees centigrade. You have to maintain the temperature of your storage of vaccines. Then when you move upward, logistic system, you have to maintain the same temperature, minus 24 degrees, in a vehicle or transportation through which you are supplying these vaccines to the hospitals or clinics. So storage is a very vast area. It can be a cold storage, it can be a normal storage, or it can be a hot storage. If you are in Western world, where the temperature is always low, and you want to keep something in hot environment, then you have to use the heaters. So warehousing and storage is a very important component of the logistics system. Material handling, a company, a pharmaceutical company like GSK, who has a sale of about 34 or 38 billion rupees per annum, they have to handle material carefully because they have got more than 100 or 200 products which they market and supply to the distributor, wholesale and retailer. So assorting this assortment of different product is the most important, means sort out, separate according to the category of the drugs and medicines. Antibiotics separate, vitamins separate, antidiarrheal separate, antibiotics should be sorted out. So material handling is very important. And the other material is also very important, that is the raw material. When it comes from a supplier, You have to go for two things. One is quality assurance and quality control. When you take out the raw material from the storehouse, you should be having a cap on your head, gloves in your hand, mask on your mask on face, and your downway or coat, which prevent your cloth from dust of those odors. Then we have got protective packaging and containerization. Containerization means putting into the container. Protective packaging means it should be protected from the light, from the water, from the heat, or any other exposure. Should not deteriorate the material or medicines present in that package. And in which container you are going to store the raw material to protect it. Containers are of different kinds. You must have seen a blue plastic type of containers, which are specially prepared with special material for pharmaceutical raw material because it's a chemical. So they will react with that container. So you have to be very careful. The container should be inert, no reaction. This is all important, right? So component of logistic is the most important thing. Then we will see that transportation model, delivery at low cost, speed of the delivery reliability, means it will deliver the goods or finished goods to the demander, distributor or seller retailer in a better condition. Geographical flexibility, in which area, through which transport you are going to deliver your product. Safety of the goods, very important. So first we will see the delivery of low cost. Water means with the lakes or sea. Pipeline, like petrol you are sending through the pipeline. In the same way, transportation of mode of any raw material finishing can be through the pipe. Rail, if you're sending to Peshawar, truck, or by air, you're sending your product to Sri Lanka, Vietnam. Speed of delivery, air, truck, railway, pipeline, or water. Delivery reliability, pipeline, air, truck, rail, water. Geographical flexibility, truck, rail, air, water, or pipeline. Maybe rails are not available there because of the topology of that area, geographical condition of that area. Or there is no airport. So how can you send your goods to that city? Nawasha has no airport. Shikarpur has no airport. Badur has no airport. So how can you send your product through air? Safety of the product, you will see what is the safe route to be send the product in better condition. Pipeline, water, air, truck, or railway. Internal model transportation, piggybacks. You know very well what is piggybacks. Containerization, freight forwarders, warehousing, warehouse versus distributor center, private versus public warehouse, because that can be warehouse in the environment like MSDs, military supply depot, MSDs, that is a public warehouse, private, farming, and other distributor of the medicines, warehousing strategy, where to make, how big to make warehouse, capacity of warehouse, condition of warehouse, infrastructure of warehouse, furniture of warehouse, and other transportation required, number, how many, location, where, and type of warehouses. What type of warehouse do you want to make? It's a full or a normal or a hot. So intermodal transportation, we have seen container, what type of container we have to use. Freight forwarded means freight, which comes shipment, how you forward it to the manufacturer. Manufacturer will convert it into finished goods and send it to the distributor, wholesaler, and retailer. So we have to analyze all these things. Inventory control, as we have discussed previously. Inventory cost inputs. Inventory means the product which is in your warehouse or storage. It has to be with economical cost, because you have to spend the money for the maintenance, for the transportation, and from the employees. Acquisition cost, if you acquire someone else, you have to pay the rent. Holding cost, how long are you going to hold that warehouse? Most of the warehouse in the city, they are on rent. So you have to pay rent per hour, per week, per month, or per year. It depends. As long as you hold that warehouse where your inventory is there, so you have control the cost also. The cost is the most important because it's the financial side. Cost of stock outs, how much stocks you have to maintain in your warehouse, how much stock is out and how much is in, how much coming from the factory to be in, and how much you are selling outside. So this is cost of stock out. Economical order quantity balance. How much quantity should we send to the distributor or selling retailer? How much raw material we should receive from the supplier? In that way, we control the cost. If we purchase higher quantity, then we are in loss. And if it contains less quantity, then if there is a demand, then we lose the business. Revenue, economic order quantity balance, the cost involved in holding inventory, how much cost do you spend for holding inventory in your premises and stock, and the cost of frequently reordering inventory, and how you reorder means you have to place order again and again and again. So what is feasible? Are you going to import the bulk, or you will import in a small quantity? So this is all about how to maintain the cost How to incur the cost in your inventory control. There is an equation, we call it EOQ example. And this, what is E, what is O, what is Q, and R, S, and C. So these alphabets represent how to calculate economical order quantity. Economical, EOQ means economical order quantity. R means annual rate of usage, means how much demand arises in the market and comes to you for the supply. So we have to keep eye on supply and demand. So second thing is S, cost of placing an order. How much amount you have to pay to get the order. S, cost of placing an order. I, annual inventory carrying cost as a percentage of product cost. How much cost incur for annual inventory carrying, and how much, what a percentage of product cost. Means now there are two things. One is a product cost and one is a economical order quantity cost. C is a cost per unit. How much cost is coming per unit for delivering this product or putting the order on a raw material? How much it comes on per unit cost? Here an example of that economical order quantity in units. Our annual rate of usage demand is 30,000, right? Demand is how much? 30,000 pack. Pack of any product you take, Novidate, ciprofloxacin, or cephalosporin, or ceftriaxone, or any cough syrup, Sandoz cough syrup. So you have to calculate. First, you see our annual rate of usage. What is the demand from the market? Then you give an order of raw material and prepare the finished good. Cost of placing an order. One order costs how much? $10 for example. Because you have packed the order or you will receive the order and give the charges of transportation. Then you are taking the supply in your warehouse or storage and you have to arrange that. You need labels, forklifters, and other equipment. So overall the cost is $10 for cost of placing an order. Annual inventory carrying cost as percentage of the product cost. Annually, you will spend about 8% of the total income on annual inventory carrying cost as a percentage of product cost. Cost per unit comes about $1.80. So this is the way how to calculate economical order quantity, and with that you have to be ready for meeting the challenges which comes from the economical order quantity. And in that way, you control the inventory. Here is the calculation. R means annual rate of demand was 30,000. 2 RS multiplied by 2. S is a cost of placing an order, that is $10. Annual inventory carrying cost is 8%, 0.08. Cost per unit is 1.8. So what the result comes? Calculate at home, and then it comes about 2041, 2041. Economical quantity is 2041 units you can acquire. Material management. Just-in-time inventory systems are designed to minimize inventory at our production facilities. We call it GIT. JIT. You note down over here. We call it GIT. Just-in-time inventory system. This is very important because at the time of the demand, if you start preparing a finished good to supply to someone, that is known as just-in-time. Just-in-time inventory systems are designed to minimize inventory at our production facilities. It means where you are producing your product in your production department, as production department is ready to deliver the finished goods to the warehouse or storage, you must have order in your hand from the wholesaler, distributor, retailers, and just in time. Here you prepare your finished goods in production department and put it in the warehouse, and next hour it will be delivered to the wholesaler, retailer, and distributor. So we call it just-in-time system designed to minimize inventory at a production facility. So in that way, we save our time and place for getting huge bulk stock in our premises or warehouse area or storage area. Because if there is much quantity in that area, it's difficult to maintain and control the inventory. So this is a formula or a method how to maintain your inventory. Electronic data interchange EDI involves computer to computer transmission of data and business documents, shipping and receiving orders between buyer and vendor. So electronic data interchange is now EDI is they are using all over the world. And in that, our documentation will transfer from one country to another country, one place to another country through the electronic data interchange system. So in that way, we prevent or manage our time and resources. Vendor analysis. So where we buy our raw material, they are known as the vendor, they are selling us, and we must analyze of those vendors who are there, what are their strengths and weaknesses, are they work with us at the same pace or speed, do they have fleet of transportation, do they have a good area for storage according to the standard requirements. So we have to be analyst of the vendor. International sourcing. If you are not having anything in your hand, then you can call to the international sourcing. Means you can take the help from other companies for inventory control. You can hire the people from abroad. So as we have seen this, our topic, that is the company of logistic system, right? What we understand with that is the most important thing. For that purpose, we must have a dialogue, means in our physical class. In our physical class, we must discuss these topics, and I will request you to go through these slides on through your channel and be prepared for those physical classes which will be happen in Benazir University, Liari. So we discuss about the different area of inventory control we have discussed just now. We will discuss in the class also. If you are missing something, you can ask the questions and participate in the class to show your concern about the understanding of the topic today we have discussed. This is most important for a pharmacist who is going to work in the pharmaceutical industry in near future. And for that purpose, you must understand how to go for inventory control and what is logistics. I have shown you few slides how to calculate the economical order quantity, because whatever order you will give, it should be economical. Means if you are giving a very small order, it means the cost is the same. And if you are giving a big order, the cost will remain the same. So why you are wasting your money? But for that purpose, you have to keep eye on your demand also from the market. How much demand of your product is there from the market? Then you will decide how much raw material do you require for the manufacturing. So for that purpose, we called it estimate or forecasting of for future. आने वाले वक्त में आपको कितना रॉ मटेरियल चाहिए होगा, कितना पैकेजिंग मटेरियल चाहिए होगा, कितना फ्रेश गुड्स चाहिए होगा, और how much demand from the market. If we have got 48, 50, 60 distributors in all over the Pakistan, how much you have to supply them? You must have a history of those distributors who are on your, who are working with you. And you must have a detailed information about those distributor to whom you are going to supply the product. For that purpose, you also keep eye on logistic system, transportation, inventory control, then how to process the order, how to maintain the warehouse and storage. वो ये बात है वो फिफ्थ क्लास कल आई थी वो बारिश वारिश की बात की। So this is very important topic, the component of logistics system. We have seen these 6 important points to be noted down because logistic is not a simple word. It's a complete system of transportation, inventory control, order processing, warehousing and storage, and material handling, and protective packaging and containers. So containers also when we give an order to the supplier to send the raw material, we also tell him that you should send your material in a well standard container and standard size of the container, entire standard material of the container. Then they must these containers should prevent or protect the material which is present inside. There is no deterioration of the product or damage to the product, right? The transportation I have shown you. If there is a in the Europe, if you go, there are certain water channels through which small boats and ships they take the product. Then through the pipeline, you can transport. For example, Aga Khan type hospitals, they have got a pneumatic tubes. You have must learn in hospital pharmacy. If you go through the William Hassan's book, they have given you pneumatic pipelines. There is a pipeline from where they put the product and that product reach to the nurse who's sitting in the ward near the patient. We have got the railway to transport the product, mode of product. We have got, but delivery at low cost, speed should be proper, delivery reliability, geographical facility should be there, and safety of the goods. These 5 things are most important, and then you select the transportation. Inventory cost, you must know how to calculate it. I have given you some ideas. Economical order quantity, how you calculate it and balance the cost. Because cost management is very important. Otherwise, your organization will go in loss instead of profitability. So all the companies are working for the profitability purpose, not only the cost purpose. This is a formula, what we have just discussed about the economical order quantity, EOQ. And what thing you have to consider in this equation, which is 2RS over R over C, IC. R stand for annual rate of usage, cost of placing an order, S and I is annual inventory carrying cost at a percentage of product cost. C, C is the cost per unit, which we have just discussed. So these important things you have to keep in mind. And I have given you an example also how to calculate the economical order quantity. If there is a demand of 30,000 units of anything like Novidate, Maston, or any other medicine, how much cost comes in placing an order with annual inventory carrying cost as a percentage of the product cost, and then cost per unit. कितनी कॉस्ट हमें आगे करनी है, ये सारी चीजें हम देखेंगे. जो हमारे पास क्वांटिटी आई है इकोनॉमिकल ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी वाई 2041 यूनिट्स अगर हम भेजेंगे या लेंगे रेगुलर क्वांटिटी यूनिट्स वो होगी 2041. तो ये हमें इकोनॉमिकल पड़ेगा. अगर हम इससे बढ़ा देंगे तो भी इकोनॉमिकल नहीं पड़ेगा, इससे कम कर देंगे तो भी इकोनॉमिकल नहीं पड़ेगा, यानी हमारा पैसा जाए. ठीक है, दोनों तरीके से, क्योंकि ये सारी कैलकुलेशन हमने बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइज तरीके से की है और इस कैलकुलेशन को हमें देखना होगा कि हम क्या करते हैं, कितनी क्वांटिटी हमें रिक्वायर्ड होगी मंगाने के लिए या आगे फिनिश प्रोडक्ट पास करने के लिए. अब मटेरियल मैनेजमेंट की हमने बात की थी कि एक सिस्टम होता है इन्वेंट्री मेंटेन करने का, कितना स्टॉक आपको चाहिए, वो होता है जस्ट इन टाइम. इसमें फायदा ये होता है जस्ट इन टाइम पे कि जब मैन्युफैक्चर हो आपका प्रोडक्ट तो उसी वक्त वो सप्लाई हो जाए आगे डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर से. तो आपकी जो कॉस्ट होती है इन्वेंट्री मेंटेन करने की वो रिड्यूस हो जाती है. कम लोग चाहिए होंगे, कम प्रीमिसेस ऑक्यूपाई करेगा तो मेंटेनेंस अच्छी हो जाएगी, सैलरीज आपको कम देनी पड़ेगी, आपको फोक लिफ्टर्स कम चाहिए होंगे क्योंकि जल्दी जल्दी खत्म हो जाएगा तो आप उनको यूज नहीं करेंगे तो पेट्रोल खर्च नहीं होगा आपको ज्यादा. ठीक है, और जो मेंटेनेंस है वेयर हाउस की वो भी रिड्यूस हो जाएगी. इस तरीके से आप हर चीज को मेंटेन करेंगे. This is all for today, and on Thursday we are going to discuss physically at Benazir University, inshallah. Thank you very much for this lecture.